Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Crusader Kings 2, the Byzantine Empire, Epilogue number 4. Let's start by taking a look at our new expanded empire. The year is 1017, so 17 years have passed since the last update. You'll notice a few things right off the bat. We have succeeded in gaining a lot of territory up north against the Tengri people. We have succeeded in gaining a lot of territory to the east against the Persians, and we've continued to also gain territory to the southeast against the Arabs, though it's not really our number one plan. We've also moved west here into what used to be Carthage and is modern-day Tunis, and we can continue to do so. The reason we are moving in the directions that we are is it's much easier to declare holy wars than it is to fabricate claims, which is quite expensive. However, this may be the last epilogue for a while, and let me tell you why. Well, two reasons, actually. One, of course, is that we have named everybody. Everybody on the entire list has been named, so yay! But also, this is getting really, really tedious. Let me just explain here. I have done everything in my power to fight off insurrection. You saw the big civil war from 17 years ago. It's only been 17 years, and already we've got more trouble than we can handle. And I mean, this is after I spent close to 5,000 ducats, or whatever the unit of currency is, on bribing people, creating duchies to gain prestige, confiscating things, hiring troops, giving people honorary titles. It's out of control. I mean, look at this. Already we have 34% for Prince Heraclitus, who is just a child. He's 12 years old, and somehow all of these people want him to be emperor and are willing to rebel against me for that. And then there's independence, which at least makes a bit more sense. These are people who are far away from me and want to be independent. But let's just be honest here, okay? This is completely unrealistic. First of all, this guy's related to me. I mean, why would anybody, if you're related to the emperor, why on earth would you want to be an independent little county? That doesn't even make sense. You're just going to be gobbled up by the Arabs or the Persians or the Seljuks or whoever. Whereas if you had the emperor behind you, you would be completely set up. But anyways, whatever. But then there's all these guys who want this little 12-year-old kid to be emperor, and they're willing to die for it. I mean, you may think, well, Marcus, this is historical. No, it is not historical. Yes, the Byzantine Empire had a lot of political issues, but these were like palace coups. These were like people getting poisoned secretly one night. This was not insurrection by half the empire. Okay, the only time that kind of stuff happened was when maybe the currently reigning emperor was assassinated, a pretender took the throne, and then the emperor's brother or son was elsewhere in the empire, and he started gathering armies to him. In which case, it would be, you'd have a situation where perhaps half the empire would support one guy and half the other empire would support someone else. But this happened maybe twice. Okay, in most cases, it was all political, all happening inside Constantinople, shadows and whispers and knives in the dark kind of business. The empire did not have full insurrection rebellions every 17 years with half the dukes and counts or whatever running amok. It just didn't happen. It's tedious, it's not fun, and it's just not historical. So it just frustrates me. It's taking away my enjoyment of the game because it's just, again, this isn't just me being an idiot. This is me putting a lot of time and money and effort into pleasing these people to keep this number as low as it is. And it'd be one thing if my emperor was like evil or just known across the world as being incompetent, but my emperor is decent. I mean, no, you don't rebel against decent guys. When people get rebelled against, it's because they do something horrible or they shouldn't be emperor in the first place because they usurp the throne. That's when rebellions happen, not just because people get a little bored. But anyway, I digress. Let us talk about our named friends. So first of all, we go back to Gordon Overkill. Poor lost Gordon Overkill. Gordon Overkill was quite a stud. He had 3 wives, of which he bore children with all of them. At the end of the day, Gordon had, was it 11? 11 children, all of which were legitimate. He did not have any bastard children, and just amazing. Let's see who we've got. Aristotle, of course, his eldest. We have Drew, Mine, who is now the emperor, Brutus, Aeliana, who is the Duchess of Wallachia, Zenaida, Prince Adrianus, who is the Count of Tabriz, Prince Heraclius, Marcos, I should say, Germanicus, Tokshin, I ran out of names, sorry, so I started adding them at will, Tokshin, and Das 24680. Those are all the children of Gordon. Then we've got Mine over here, who has little Shingletop. She is the princess and the despo and the heir to the empire. Then we have Princess Ursula, who those of you who've been following me since the beginning, that may be a name you recognize. Maybe. And then Prince Crazy Man. And also somewhere around here, I have little... these are all random, like, Polish names. Maybe Drew? Yes, Little Surreal Beliefs. Heir to the barony of Arawa. Who... Poor guy, both his parents are dead. But that's a great opportunity, because now he can train really hard, go to the east, maybe, the Himalayas, and become Batman. So, silver lining on every cloud. But so now you have it. All the way up to Shingletop, everyone who was on the list to be named is now in the game. So now I'm just naming people random crazy things because that's really all I've got going. I didn't miss anyone, did I? No, they're just kind of naming themselves too in some instances here. Euphemios, I don't know. But there's a lot of Aureliuses running around, and I've created a ton of duchies, as you can see here, in order to get enough prestige to have the high prestige bonus. But even then, even with all that, I mean, Mine is a decent guy. He's ambitious. He is an underhanded rogue, but that's good. It gives him +3 diplomacy. He's charitable, honest, brave, and unfortunately wounded. But again, he has good stats. He's pretty decent. He's a pretty decent steward. He's a great diplomat. He's all right at learning. So the fact that people are rebelling against him is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And I know the game does it in order to increase the difficulty as you become big and powerful or whatnot, but it's just silly when you get right down to it. So then there's little Princess Shingletop. She is 8 years old. He is, of course, raising her himself, and as of yet, she has not developed any traits. What I think I'm going to do is raise her myself until she's about a year from becoming an adult, and then give her to someone who is a masterful diplomat. A gray eminence. Because you take on or you have a high chance, like a 60% chance of taking on the job of the person who's raising you. But I've tried that in the past, and what happens is they get a lot of really terrible traits in the meantime. So I'm going to make sure she just gets good traits, or at least doesn't get bad traits, and then give her to someone who's a gray eminence at the end to pick up that job. And we'll see if that works. What else is going on in the world? Well, look at the Seljuks. They're just crazy. They're going after Russia here. They are very, very powerful. They're leaving Persia alone, which is amazing to me. I've never seen them move up north like this. It's ahistorical and kind of weird, but again, this game, crazy things happen. Like, for example, Frisia becoming the rulers of Bavaria. This used to be the Bavarian Empire. I mean, in real life, it's probably like Austria, Hungary, a little bit of that. And Baden there holds a little bit of territory as well, but that's our situation. You've got the Teutonic Order, which eventually will fall under my domain. And I don't necessarily have any desire to go north anymore. I've made my border with the Seljuks be this large river. I'm pretty much happy to take Kiev here and then be done with it. And that'll be my northern boundary. And then I'll continue to move west to North Africa and maybe try to steal some more land in Italy. Though this will be very difficult and time consuming since it is something I have to fabricate claims. I can't just declare wars on them. Most everybody has converted to the Orthodoxy, as you can see. A little teeny bit of France. Most of England's already gone there. This little teeny bit of Germany. But again, what matters is the overall liege. So if these guys are Catholic, but the overall German king is Orthodox, I can't declare war. So really, it's the Teutonics are the last available area for me to holy war, except for, of course, down here. And you can see my religion, look at that. My religion has pretty much taken over the entire Middle East. We've beat the Sunnis back. Even these territories that we've just recently conquered are converting. Now, culture is a bit different. Culture is a bit harder to do. But as you can see, Greek culture is slowly working its way, even up here. Even up here. Even strangely enough, the lands we just took from the Teutonic Order has become Greek even faster than the Bulgarian and Croatian and Serbian lands that we took, or the Italian lands that we've had for quite some time now. You know, things happen like that. But I would love to continue playing this. I would love to continue taking more lands, but again, I'm just so tired of these incessant civil wars. It's just crazy. It's just constant. I don't want every single generation to have to deal with a civil war. It takes 5 years to put down, and there's thousands of armies running around, and it just sucks. We've got the Aurelius Dynasty, as you can see, everywhere that we rule, but also, I think I did some dynastic planning such that somewhere, where is it, Italy? No, oh, well, I guess we're kind of screwed, actually, now that I think about it, because it was Bavaria. I married one of my sons to the Queen of Bavaria, but apparently she's no longer the Queen of Bavaria, because Bavaria is gone. So that's a problem. Let's see, who was that? Was that one of my brothers, right? I think it was Brutus? No, Brutus is dead. Prince Adrianus? No, was it Heraclius? Ah, Heraclius is betrothed to Princess Vikaslav of Bavaria, who is the Duchess of Pex and the Princess of Bavaria. But there is no Bavaria anymore, is there? Pex? Yeah, she's actually now part of Frisia. Frisia is there. Bavaria is not. I wish I could even just see Bavaria. Where are you? Kingdom of Hungary? No, that's not what I want. Maybe here? Kingdom of Bavaria. Okay. So there's actually, yeah, Bavaria is either owned by the Germans, who are you? Well, Germany now. Okay, look at that. No longer East Francia, and Frisia, of course. And that's basically it. And then this little area of France, and these little areas of Baden. So something happened to Bavaria to swallow them up. So now my prince is basically married to no one. Oh well. I was never very good at the dynastic politics anyway. I'm more capable at just murdering people. But I could, I mean, if I felt like it, I could conquer all this in holy war, but it's just too far away from my power center. It doesn't seem quite worth it. I'm hoping that peace will maintain between me and the Seljuks. I don't want to go to war with them. It would be long and drawn out and terrible. And they own a lot of land, but it's very spread out land with not much going on with it. Where's their capital? Here, I guess. They're pretty powerful. They are... Where can I... There we go. So they can draw 17,934 troops. That's quite a bit. Not as much as me. I am capable of pulling out, let's see here, 73,020 troops. Yes, we're pretty powerful. And bear in mind that all of this has been gained by the use of just my own personal retinue. I haven't even summoned my personal levies. This is the main part of my retinue. This is part number 2 of my retinue, and this is new retinue that I'm training up. The money's coming in quite well, a balance of 116, which is absolutely necessary because, as I said, I spent nearly 5,000 of it to buy everybody off and keep mine safe on the throne. And Shingletop, unfortunately, is going to have to spend even more and probably won't spend enough because not only is she a woman, but she's not born in the purple, and so there's just going to be all manner. She's going to have her uncles to deal with, her brothers. It's just going to be a giant pain. But mine is only 28 years old, so maybe he'll live for quite a long time. We'll see. I mean, he is wounded. Not exactly sure how, since I haven't given him any military adventures to go on. It looks like his wife, Basilissa Ealdhild, is his lover, which is great. and she's also heir to the Duchy of Asturias. However, I believe the way this stuff works, she will give it to Crazy Man, maybe? I don't know. They don't follow the rules that the Byzantines followed. They don't have the daughter or the despo being the heir, so her duchy may go to another child besides Shingletop. Although if it did go to Shingletop, that would be awesome, because then we would have some land over here, which, as you can see, is the Catholics are doing quite well. The Catholics/Orthodoxes are doing quite well taking it from the Islamic powers. It would be kind of neat to get Valencia. That would be kind of fun. But so that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Look at our great and mighty and wonderful empire. I'm trying to think if there's anything else you'd want to see. Economy, I don't know. We're green. We're very green, because that means our economy is good. Opinion, as you can see, is varied. Some people like us quite a bit, and some people don't like us all that much. But it's really okay. As long as these big shields like us, it really doesn't matter what the rest of these people think, because the big shields kind of follow on top of them. Though, Calabria. Why don't you love me, Calabria? No real reason. It's because of the same old stuff. Short reign, female heir, medium authority, small feudal tax. The stuff that we're used to dealing with. What else do we have here? Revolt risk? Oh, I love revolts, actually. In fact, I actively encourage them, and here's why. Whenever somebody who is a religion who is not mine revolts against me, all of my vassals like me plus 25 because I'm fighting off foreigners. I love it. So if someone revolted right now, I would just let them do it. I would just let them sit around until they get to like 50% war score, and then I'd have to go down and kill them, because they're one big army, so they don't cause me too much trouble, and as long as they're revolting, my vassals won't be. So it's actually kind of a tactical move, just let rebels run around and conquer places, at least not to the point where they win the war, but get close to it so that I can utilize that bit of peace to expand my borders. And that is that. Not much else to say, really. I suppose if I felt like it, I could conquer the entire Arabian Peninsula and maybe all the way down here into East Africa, but why? You know? It seems like a bit more ambition than I really want to take on for myself. I guess before we leave, I can go with a quick little showing of how we are doing compared to the rest of the world. As you can see, we're doing quite well. We have 73,000 troops, and the next strongest is Turkestan, the Seljuks, who have 17,009, or about, what, 50,000 less than we do? And Persia's next with 16, the Arabian Empire is next with 14. So still, despite the beating that I have given them, the Islamic powers are still by far the strongest military powers after me. I mean, it must be tough to be a Catholic power in this game, because even their strongest power, Aragon, is only 12,000 guys. I mean, they're just getting run over. And you look at the Arabian Empire and think, this is tiny. This is just a few little provinces. I mean, how could this possibly be the third strongest or fourth strongest? And how can this be the third strongest nation in the world? I don't know. That is what it is, I guess. But none compare to the mighty Byzantine Empire. So yes, this may be the last epilogue for a while. I won't say it's the last forever. I may come back to it, but I'm just tired of fighting off civil wars. I want to kick up my heels and just enjoy the fruits of my success. So thank you all so much for watching, especially those of you who were named. I hope you enjoyed being a part of the story of the Aurelii, and some of you, such as Shingletop and a few of the younger ones, will continue to play a role if there ever is an epilogue number 5. So thank you so much. Have a good one.